I'm here on invitation of GNWP because the Secretariat has been working with the GNWP members in Sierra Leone, especially in the localization process. So I'm here to share our own little experience that we've had in localizing UNSCR 1325 and 1520. But then, for us to really understand the context, I decided to give you a little background to our own process of decentralization since it started in 2004. We had had local councils, but they were abolished about 32 years prior to 2004. So when consultations were held, there was a general outcry for the restoration of local councils. After the consultations, the matter was taken to Parliament, which is legislature, and the Local Government Act was enacted. The Local Government Act now paved the way for the restoration of local governance and decentralization. This law has been enacted because we do not have decentralization in the constitution that we have there, which we're still using. It's just been reviewed now. We do not have provisions for local governance and decentralization. So this law had to be enacted, though it stated clearly that it should not prejudice the provisions of the Constitution. So after the enactment of the Act, 19 local councils were established, 13 districts and 6 cities. The equivalent of a district in Sierra Leone is a county here. So we have 14 administrative districts. Out of the 14, 13 were made district councils. But then within those districts, all the major towns were elevated to cities, and more importantly, local councils were created to help government in running the business of government. And that's devolution. We have devolution as a means of decentralization. In my discussions with Dr. Kula, he had said mostly what you have here is the concentration and expansion or extension of the operations of the central government. But there it is a bit different. We have devolution as the principal means of decentralization. The devolution involves the transfer of functions, authority, resources, including human resources, material and financial. In 2004, when we started in the decentralization secretariat, we moved from ministry to ministry, which did not just impose on the ministries, departments, and agencies. We had consultations with them. We'll go to them. Our Ministry of Health, what function do you think local councils can take over? And what do you think should remain under your ambit? And they themselves highlighted, they hyped out functions to transfer to local councils. But I would say, in our estimation, most of them earmarked functions because they did not believe that the decentralization would work. So they just, okay, let them take this, let them take this, let them take this. In all, 80 functions were earmarked for the revolution, a timetable made, and then that instrument was taken back to the legislature. And it was enacted. Another instrument was enacted in 2004, which is the assumption of functions, which gives legitimacy to the transfer of functions from the central government to the local councils. To date, out of the 80, only about 60 have been transferred. There are still bottlenecks in having the remaining transfer. This, although the devolution process, that is the transfer process, should have ended since 2009, we are still struggling with the remaining MBAs to have the remaining 20 functions evolved. So functions that have been evolved include primary health care, registration of births and deaths, public health information and education. These are just examples. That's for the health sector. In the agriculture sector, we have things like crop division, extension services, sensitization campaigns on forest conservation. For education, we have primary to high school, the school supervision. For social welfare and gender, we have child welfare, family casework, gender issues, disability issues, community-based organizations. These are some of the examples of the functions that have been evolved from the central government.